It's time once again to level up your people skills with me, Shelly, your captain of connection. I'm having a blast learning all of these new things. I can't wait to share some more of what I've learned with you today. And we're doing this because it's good for you, it's good for me, and this is how we make money. I like that. I'm gonna say it like a lot from now on. I'm gonna make you say it with me next time. Woo! It's good for you, it's good for me, and this is how we make money. So today we're gonna talk about body language a little bit. We're gonna dive into the science of sales, and we're gonna learn how to sway. It's all about influence, but I like to say sway because it's a little more fun. So sway is the way to slay. That's what we're gonna be learning about today. So a little body language. We're gonna learn about the 7 rapport building skills. Happy Me Too's. We'll talk about that. Sharing a joke, which is of course something that we are really good at. The 6 principles of influence, so a little bit of science in there for you. We'll learn from some badass people like Jack, our ex-FBI agent, of course a little Vanessa Van Edwards, and we're gonna learn a little bit from Robert Cialdini, who talks about the 6 principles of influence. It's gonna be great. So, people write lots of books about building rapport and influencing people. I don't really like to think about it that way. Not even like making friends, like on our level a little bit more, making friends and getting them to do what you want. Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing in our tasting rooms. But even more so, we are turning guests into friends and getting them excited about joining club or making a purchase. That's what we're doing. So the body language of influence. So we talk a lot about what I call, or what Vanessa calls fronting. So just having a very open body language. Your front is open to the person that's in front of you. You've got kind of space in between here. You don't want to be all scrunched up, and you've got space in between here and here. So you want to think about the space in between here and here. The more that we are anxious or nervous, we kind of like close this area a little bit. So think about the space in between here and here, and having that really open, winning posture. So we want to have a winning posture when we're talking to people, because that will help us build rapport and influence them. People want to buy things from winners. So we don't ever want to be like a loser and do this kind of defeated thing. So that's the opposite end of the spectrum. There is that defeated posture. And one of the big reasons that we don't like to have our phones, and I'm recording on mine, so I'll just like use a piece of paper. But the minute you pick up your phone, you go from that winning posture to like the minute you pick up a phone, you immediately do this like defeated thing. It's not great. So try to do that in off stage somewhere, or if you really have to pick up your phone or do something, at least stand like James Bond. Look at all of that open fronting with the phone. That's a winning pose with the phone. It doesn't look defeated at all. So a little body language about that. Be broad, don't block. Cross your arms. I know this is really comfy, but try not to do it when you are talking to your guests. They want to see loose space here. If you have like a piece of paper, or you've got your clipboard, or you've got like an iPad or something, try having it in one hand so that you have this hand open to gesture and you leave that torso open. It's much easier to influence people if they think you are a winner. Now, with everything I talk about with body language, there's the extreme, and we don't ever want to go to the extreme. So we don't need to like walk into every room like we're a winner, like we're so victorious, we just like won something, right? We just want to have that open body posture, a little bit of fronting, make sure we're not blocking off that area, and that gives people a very welcoming thing right away. And don't soothe. So there's a lot of what we call pacifying behaviors. For women, that's like when you play with your necklace, if you fidget with a bracelet or a ring, or you're like doing this. Sometimes I do this, like you're fidgeting with a pen. Those are kind of pacifying gestures, and it makes people feel like you're nervous. So trying to avoid those, or just figuring out what yours are, those pacifying gestures. So be broad, don't block. Try not to fidget with stuff, or maybe put something in one of your hands to keep you from fidgeting. I have a lot of tips and tricks for you on that if you need some help with your pacifying gestures. And if you can't do anything else, just stand like a James Bond. I'm gonna give everybody this little chart. We talk about the friend signals in Body Language 101. So this is just like a quick little guide for you that has some friend signals versus the faux signals. So why do we want to know this? Because if we see the friend signals, that means we're doing a good job, we're on the right track, we're building rapport with our people. If we see any of the faux signals, we're not on track, and I'll demonstrate some of those for you. And again, do it with your people in the tasting rooms, do it while you're out at a diner. My favorite thing to do is figure out who in the room is on a Tinder date and how that Tinder date is going based on their body language. Super fun way to experiment with that. Moving on. We have 7 rapport building skills that will make anybody like us. And we've already been working on a lot of these skills. We're gonna go through all of them eventually in all of my little skills classes. So if you wanna level up, keep pressing play, meet with your teams, check out all these fun things. So mirroring your guest body language. We did a little mirroring activity in one of my last classes. And not like, we did it to the extreme where you were really following everything that your person did. So when we talk about mirroring our guests, we just want to make sure that our torsos are aligned. If they have like a hand on a hip or a hand out here, maybe we're doing the same thing. If they keep, like tossing their hair back a little bit, maybe you toss your hair back a little bit too. Just acting like somebody makes them like you. Science. Remember your guest name and use it. Then we get into their brain and start lighting the brain up. We talked about that already a little bit. We have lots of tips and tricks for how to remember names. Match your guest pace and match your guest words. We'll get into that a little bit in the next class. So just matching, if your person is a slow talker, that you bring it down a little bit. If your person is like on it and fast and like, what's up, give me some wine. Matching the guest's pace. And then matching the guest's words. So if they're using a lot of warm words, or maybe even repeat some of the things that they say back to them. It's a great way to get people to like you right away. Today we're going to talk about 2 specific of these rapport skills. So finding the me toos, which is that common ground. Happy me toos. Like, oh, me too? You love the ocean? Oh my gosh, me too. That's why I'm here in Seaside. And then also using humor to connect with your guests. So sharing a joke invites people in as one of our brand pillars. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And then get your guest to tell you a story and listen. Very, very simple stuff. But if we don't think about it purposefully, then we lose our opportunity to make it work in our favor. So you'll hear me talk about Jack a lot. He's ex-FBI agent, right? He's got to get into people's heads. He's got to influence people a lot, build rapport with people right away. So he's a really cool guy to study. And he has the golden rule of friendship, which you've heard before, and I'm going to show it to you many, many times so that it just gets into your brain. So Jack says the golden rule of friendship. If you want people to like you, make them feel good about themselves. If you make someone feel good about themselves, they will credit you with helping them attain that good feeling. Very easy. Make someone feel good about themselves. Here's another one for my introverts. Instead of we're always trying to like impress other people, our wine is impressive, I'm impressive. Let them impress you. You don't have to do as much talking, and people really just want that. Ask questions and get them to impress you. That actually makes more of a difference than you being impressive on somebody else. If you let somebody impress you, make them feel good about themselves. That's how we make friends. And then that's how it's easy to tell them, here's a wine that you love, and they'll want to join our club and hang out all the time and give us all their money. We love it. So making friends requires a particular bonding agent to hold the relationship together. We can make friends easily, but if we don't keep that relationship going and build that rapport and find that common ground, then we're only like halfway there. And we won't get to the full climax of the experience with the person, which is what we're looking for. That full climax of, here's my credit card, I want to join the club, I'm buying a case of wine. That's it. So when you connect with another person, you have rapport. That's why I'm all about connection, baby. Rapport is about connection. So there's 3 big ways that we can build rapport and connection fast. So say my name, I'm gonna say it over and over and over again. Say people's names, say my name, say my name. There's a whole song about it. Find common ground, we're gonna talk about that today, and then share a joke. So we're halfway there. We learned about ways to remember people's names, and I'm gonna beat it into your brain as hard as I can, sing you a song. So we'll talk about, we'll dive in deeper to finding common ground and sharing a joke. So happy Me Too's. Happy Me Too's. Change this a little bit. So I'm gonna read a little snippet from Jack Schaefer's book, The Like Switch, which I love so much, and I'm gonna teach you lots of things from there. He says, people who share the same perspectives, attitudes, and activities tend to develop close relationships. Adoy. The adage, birds of a feather flock together, has merit. People are attracted to other people who share their interests. The need to avoid cognitive dissonance may explain why this is true. Dissonance occurs when people hold two opposing ideas or beliefs. This real or perceived difference creates anxiety. So when people are, it's like our caveman brain is like, oh my gosh, if this person is not like me, then I'm gonna have anxiety about myself because we're not the same. So immediately when you get somebody to like you, you act like them, you do the mirroring, you front with them, it relaxes them so fast and so easy. FBI agent Jack Schaefer agrees with me. What's up? So how fast can you find common ground with your coworkers? Let's flock together. We're gonna do a little game time here. So grab a buddy. I'm gonna explain the activity and then you can pause me and do your thing or move on with your life and keep watching. So you have 3 minutes to find something. You need to grab a buddy. You have 3 minutes to find something you both have in common. Then I want you to introduce your buddy and tell us all of the fun facts you found out about what you have in common. There are some ways to help you connect with little time. 3 minutes, find that happy me too. Oh, you love to garden, me too. And then you're gonna introduce your buddy. Hey, this is Michelle. We both love to garden. I found out she's super into mushrooms. She's a badass human being that works in Hood River. You may have heard of her. So that's the game, easy peasy. And then here's the 3 ways that that will help you with finding that common ground. So you can go from a personal experience, like, oh, I love to garden also. Or you can go through third-party experience, like, oh, I love to walk around my grandmother's garden. I wish that I had the skills she had. She is freaking amazing. What do you like to grow? Or vicarious experience is another way that you can connect with that common ground. So, wow, I have always wanted to be able to garden. Like, what is that like? I bet it's so fun to watch your little baby plants grow up. Whatever it is, that's just an example, but can be whatever that Me Too is. You can find ways to connect with people even if it's not your personal experience. You can use a third-party experience or a vicarious experience with that. So go ahead and time out and pause me now, and I'll see you in a little bit. So welcome back. I hope you found some really fun things that you guys had in common and that was really easy for you. So there's a lot of times when we don't have a ton of time to talk to people in the tasting rooms, but if we can just like within that first couple sips, go over and try to find a Me Too to connect with them, we're on board, we're good. People are gonna think that that's a good experience. You may not even feel like you're doing anything. So I do this body language stuff all the time, and sometimes I get really busy. I'm here with you, I'm doing it with you. I'm in Seaside all the time. I work out in Bend with those guys, it's amazing. I'm in Hood River. I'm here with you, I'm doing it. I've been taking care of members forever. So I understand what it's like to be super busy and feel like you don't have time to connect with someone. I promise you, if you use that open, positive, winning body language, you make eye contact with people, you remember their names, you find some kind of Me Too. That's it. That's all you really need to do. And I've had people be like, oh my gosh, this is the best experience. You're the best waitress we've ever had. And even though I don't like that word, I'm like, you know what? Great. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. So don't forget about that. Now we're gonna talk about sharing a joke. I love to share a joke. This is why I love to play with the labels. This is why I love this company, because we have fun ways to joke with people right on the labels. We had a couple in here the other day that was like, well, now I guess I can say I really like penetration, and everybody laughed and it was wonderful. It's like the best part of my day sometimes. So sharing a joke really does invite people in, and it's one of our brand pillars. Share that joke, baby. That's what makes us different and happy. Humor is one of the most effective ways for people to connect and put each other at ease. We set ourselves apart from bland marketing language and snooty terroir talk with a witty, controversial voice that makes shoppers feel like our brand gets them. After all, the funniest jokes are funny because they're true. That's straight out of our freaking brand stuff, and I absolutely love it. Here's a little bit more. We aim to sound like someone we'd like to hang out with, fun, like-minded, and quick with witty lines that ring true. That's Evoke. Our style is loose and spontaneous, like we're riffing with a friend rather than standing up on a stage with a mic. I like doing both of those things, but yes, that's what we want, that's it. Here's a pro tip for you. Now that we're back to being able to take pictures for people and do all of this fun stuff that I encourage in reading labels, if people ask you to take a picture and you've built a little rapport with them, tell them a funny joke right before you snap the photo. Here's one, and I'm gonna tell it to you because we have really good rapport. So I had a group of ladies in here the other day and they were having a hoot with the labels. It was so much fun. And they were like, oh my gosh, please take our picture. So I grabbed their camera from them and I'm like, okay, I have to tell you a dirty joke before I tell the picture. And I said, what does the sign on an out of business brothel say? And they were like, oh my gosh, I don't know. And I said, beat it, we're closed. Like a roar of laughter, and I snapped a photo, and it was like the best picture ever. So if you can find a way to like work in a cute joke or like a dirty joke, if you've built rapport with somebody, right before you take their picture, you will see real smiles. I have a challenge for you later about can you spot the fake smile. You will see real smiles every time if you tell someone a joke before you take their picture. How cool is that? Science is amazing, and sharing a joke is wonderful. So here's your smile challenge. Can you tell which is the real smile? How do you know? You look at the eyes. Look at those eyes. You can also you can't keep your eyes fully open if you're really smiling. So if I'm really smiling, you can see it in the corners of my eyes. You can see it in the corners of his eyes. You see how one eye is a little bit more closed than the other. So the smile on the left is the real smile. So have fun looking for fake and real smiles. You can do it to me too. I don't always have a real smile going on, but I try. I try. So here's this guy, Robert Cialdini. He's very famous. So let's get into some principles of influence, y'all. So Dr. Cialdini is known globally as a foundational expert in the science of influence and how to apply it ethically in business. Ethically in business. So we're not trying to manipulate people. We're just trying to use those principles of influence that our caveman brains are already wired to do to help us get the best outcome out of the situation so that the person feels good about their purchase and we feel good about taking that money. His 6 principles of persuasion have become a cornerstone for any organization serious about effectively increasing their influence. So that's us, y'all. We are very serious about effectively increasing our influence. That's what we want to do. So let's pause. We're going to watch a 3-minute video about these 6 principles of influence so you can get a little break. So take a time out, pause me here, click on the link there. So I totally love that video because it's just like short and cute, and the guy that does its voice is really fun to listen to. I'm not sure what kind of an accent that is, but so lovely. So a little breakdown of those principles of influence, and there's lots of little ways that we can use each of those, and there's also some really big ways that we can use each of those. So let's watch another fun video. Whoop, whoop. So there's this really cute video just to show you how our caveman brains are kind of wired for these 6 principles of influence. There's a lot of science behind it, and I'll make sure you have the links to that if you want to geek out. But there's a really cute video about monkeys and how they understand if they're being treated differently. So this also has to do with that social proof, part of those pieces of influence. So go ahead and pause me again and click on the next link below for a cute little video about monkeys. It's like 2 minutes. Go for it. It's a little excerpt from a TED Talk. Super cute. So even in our little caveman brains, like we understand when someone is being treated differently. So the biggest thing that comes to my mind with this is regular people in the tasting room versus club members. So you can use your club members to help influence other people, which is really cool. The more people see you treat club members, not necessarily better than them, but with extra perks, and the more you say things like, oh, and of course your tastes are complimentary because you're part of the family, when other people hear you say that, it influences them. They want the grape. They don't want the cucumber. They have a cucumber just like a regular tasting, they want the grape. They want that special thing that somebody else has. So use your members to help you influence other people. Like, super cool. And we're going to pause for another activity. Whoop. So I want you to get into groups. I always want you to get into groups. Pick a different buddy than you did last time. And managers or whoever, or if you want to just go through the principles of influence on your own or with another person, however you want to split it up, I'm cool with it. So grab all those 6 principles of influence, assign one or all of them to each group, and then I want you to go through each one and really think about how you can apply that principle of influence to a regular guest, and then of course to a club member, and then share with the team. Super fun activity. One of the biggest things you can do that's a fun reciprocity thing is bring people water. If you bring people water right away, they're more willing to wait a long time for service. They're more willing to forgive you if something else happens. It's like a reciprocity thing. So just the act of bringing somebody water is like a little thing you can do. So think about that in those ways while you're looking at these principles of influence, and go ahead and give me a timeout and have some fun with each other. Okay, I hope you came up with some really cool things for liking reciprocity, authority, social proof, scarcity, and consistency. And if you want to share them with me, that gives me a ton of dopamine. So feel free to give me feedback and share with me. And of course, we can't do one of these things without a little tidbit from Vanessa. I just love to watch her, and she's so funny. So go ahead and pause me again. Click on the next link below. So there's 3 videos, 3 parts to this. And we're going to learn 5 science-backed killer sales techniques from Vanessa Van Edwards. I just love Vanessa. She's fantastic. And she's done a lot of research. So her stuff is backed by all kinds of other science. And I'll have those sources available for you if you want them. Maybe we'll scroll them at the end of the video in case you think I'm just talking out of my armpit. There's a ton of really cool science that backs up everything that she says, and most of the things that I say. So don't forget those 5 ways. Start with a bang. Don't self-sabotage. Use awesome labels. If you love penetration, talk about it. Another great way to share a joke. Invites people in, makes people feel comfortable. Penetration is just a word. They use it in football and like basketball all the time. I always giggle when it happens. Use your body language skills, and then end high. So the end high is a really big deal. If you get somebody that's like, no, you know, I'm not gonna join the club today, don't be like, oh, okay, well, do you at least like want a bottle? Like, give me your credit card, I guess I'll ring you up. People can tell right away in your face, that's that body language and like micro expressions, that you're not happy with how things went. So always be like, yes, of course, totally fine. It's an open relationship. No commitment necessary. I know you really love the penetration Cabernet though. We always do like a deal on, you know, I can always still give you a great deal on like 6 or 12 bottles if you want to put together like a mixed case or something. Be happy to help you with that. Always end high and aim high, right? We're not just going for a bottle, we're going for that like a little bit more than what we think. So start high, end high, make sure that they have a great time. And we want to see you again, because you never know. That person could go and tell their, you know, $1 million friend Janet that they had an amazing time at Naked Winery, at Evoke Winery, that they had an amazing time at Evoke Winery, and they want to come back again. That's all that we can ask for, is to get people to come back and love us and say good things to their friends about us. In summary, we are making friends and getting them excited about joining our club or making a purchase. We build rapport by remembering names, finding common ground, and sharing a joke. You have a little guide to start watching your guest's body language if you want to play with body language a little bit. And then we apply the 6 principles of influence, of course, that we learned about. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into all of those principles of influence, but I wanted to give you just like a good overview of an introduction to that. So if you do all these things, you will slay all day. Thank you so much for joining me today. And just in case you want to geek out a little bit more, you think I'm just talking out of my armpit, I'll do a fun little dance for you while I show you the list of sources and people that agree with all of the things that I'm saying. And we'll do a little torso dance move, a little video dance move. This is my Stay tuned. I've got a little get your mind right, get your wine right snippet. For 2 minutes, we're gonna learn about gay rosé with Jason Tarek. Welcome everybody. We're here for a little get your mind right, get your wine right time. And we're talking about gay rosé today with one of our favorite gays, Jason.
Hello.
Everyone should drink rosés with gays. It makes it way more fun.
It does. Very much does.
I've got my Eltons on. They're kind of glary, so I'll just wear them for a moment here. Loving it.
Those are amazing glasses, though.
Thanks. I found them at the gas station for $7. $7. Thanks, Seaside. So we're gonna do just a couple of these quick little minutes. You guys want to know a little bit more about our wine, so I'm gonna give it to you. You asked for it. I'm giving it to you. We're gonna start with gay because it was just Pride Month in June, and we had such a fun time doing Pride. I feel like you're gonna win the Pride contest.
I don't know, maybe. Diana had some pretty good outfits.
Diana did have good. You had
And
roller
the whole,
skates though.
that is true. I did have roller skates.
So let's get to pouring this wine. We're going to talk about something fun, something factual, and something food, and then we're going to let you go. But I know you're having so much fun watching us. I feel like I should wear this pink furry thing all day. It's a little weird. Rosé, rosé. All right, so tell us a little bit about the rosé.
So the rosé is a Viognier Riesling blend.
Ooh. Here
It's
come the
aged for
facts.
3 months in stainless steel. And honestly, the one thing that I don't know, because Viognier and Rieslings don't have red usually, how do they get the red, the pink?
How do they make it pink?
How does-
So I asked Elena that very same question. How does it be pink if it's Viognier and Riesling? And she said, imagination.
Imagination.
That's what makes it
sparkle.
pink. It's your
Works.
imagination.
It's
It's actually Syrah. We're gonna say Syrah. Usually that's what they do. If there's a blend of whites, they want to make it a little bit pink. It's like a 1% of Syrah in there. That makes
just
it pink.
enough to make it pink.
Or sometimes Petit Verdot. And there's 2 ways that we can make rosé. Do you know the 2 ways to make rosé?
So one is skimming off the top, which is the take me away, right?
Yes, where you
And
just
then-
pull the juice off the top and don't leave it on the skins and stems with
Mhm.
the purple
And then
grapes.
no, I don't know both. I only know that one.
The other way is you just mix red wine together.
So I did know that one.
Which is usually
it
what
was
we
too simple to
do.
say.
That's
it was
usually
way
what we
too
do.
simple to say.
Well, that's okay. That's totally fine. So cheers.
Cheers.
You have to look in the eyes when you cheers. It's very important. It's bad sex for 7 years if you don't look in the eyes when you cheers. And I am not really a rosé drinker. I love the dark side. That's my passion. But on a hot summer day, like it's been lately, we've gone through a heat wave. This is fantastic.
It's amazing drinking.
So those are the facts, y'all. Does it have residual sugar?
I don't think so, no. It doesn't say.
Well, fantastic. So if you have someone that is not a real big fan of sweet wine, but they like a rosé, this is a great one. And if they're totally crazy and they want the driest rosé we have, what do we give them?
I pray.
Opera.
But if you have someone who doesn't like the super sweet, this is perfect. And if they have a friend who likes sweeter, just put some frozen berries in it. Keeps it cold, gives you a little bit of a boozy berry later.
That's something food already. I love it. So we learned some facts. We got some food. We also
some
have
food.
some of our standard staples in the tasting room, some chocolate chips, some goldfish crackers, and some Havarti cheese. So we're gonna try that with each one. And then the something fun is always the label, y'all. Your something fun is right there for you all the time. So let's give this thing a try. You're gonna start with chocolate? All right, let's start with chocolate. Chocolate and rosé. Here we go. And you just did a virtual tasting.
I did. It was a lot of fun.
Tell the kids about that. Who was on it with you?
It was Grace, Liz, and Peter. And we tasted through 5 different wines. The gay rosé was actually a surprise for most people. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of good facts come out because you're talking with Peter, the owner, head winemaker. He's one of the best knowledges for most of our wines. Him and Elena. But yeah, it's kind of fun getting to see Peter, seeing the people from across the states making comments, asking questions.
Oh yeah, because we do a lot of the virtual tastings for our people who are out of town.
Mhm.
So
Most
don't
of the
forget
people-
to tell the kids when you sign them up that are out of state to look for those virtual tastings.
Yeah.
Fun times.
And it's different people every time. Like Liz and Peter are staples, but it's different employees every time you've been on one before.
I got to do one, yeah, it was super fun.
So-
And it wasn't too, like, I would watch a recording of it later.
Mhm.
So I put those out for you too. If you want to watch recordings of those later, you
And I
can.
think they're actually on the I think they're actually on the Evoke site so that you can anybody can go back and watch them if they want to.
Yes, we have our own YouTube channel now where you're going to see stuff like this and a lot of other things. So go like and subscribe and check out some stuff if you missed out. It's always there for you. How'd we like that?
I'm not a big chocolate fan, but I feel that the rosé really brings out the darkness of the chocolate, and I'm getting like cherry covered chocolate flavors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do kind of like that. It definitely makes the chocolate a little more bitter.
Yes.
It kind of cuts the sweetness of
Dark
the
chocolate,
chocolate.
yeah, cuts the sweetness, makes
brings
it
out that darkness.
darker, that dark side.
I'm all about the dark side. I really do.
Goldfish.
All right, fishes.
I eat all of these all day. It's bad.
I go through phases.
If they're out, I eat them.
I feel like this is gonna be the best one.
But I do like the salty with the wine. I am a salty person though.
I am a salty person
When it
too.
comes to food, not in my attitude.
Well, if you need to be. Sometimes you need to be.
That is true.
Sometimes you have to throw a little salt. Get people to go get them slugs out of there. Throw a little salt sometimes,
Yeah.
that's alright. We're at the beach anyway, so there's salt. There's just salt in the air.
Everywhere.
Salt. That was good. All right, let's try the Havarti. I think everyone has Havarti in their cheese. I'm pretty sure. I feel like this is gonna be good. That's my favorite. The Havarti with the rosé is the winner for me of the food.
It calms the little bit of sweetness that's in there way down.
The dairy like makes it creamier,
Yeah.
less citrusy and more like creamy at the
Yes.
end.
I do like that.
So if you like your gay to be creamy, have it with some Havarti cheese.
And have it with a coochie board.
Have it with a coochie board. They should say that. Charcuterie is like,
Yeah.
it's too fancy.
Too fancy. Some people can't say it. They don't know what you're talking about.
Might as well just call it a coochie board. I like that. I'm also repping the Gay Rosé shirt today in all its beautiful glory. Love the label. So
Just
that's
like the label.
something fun.
Mhm.
Why don't you read the back to us?
Let's be perfectly queer. If following your heart is wrong, we don't want to be right. Drink what you like with pride. Because rosé is not a phase, and we love you just the gay you are. That's perfect.
Everybody should have a gay experience, you know? Just pretend like you're in college.
Yeah. Whether it be going to like a gay club or just hanging out with a whole bunch of gay people and listening to them talk.
I know I'm personal friends with some drag queens, and the more we can bring them to party, the better. So
Mhm.
hopefully you'll get to meet.
And some of them have some attitude too.
That's the best.
It's the best.
That would be just you dress up in fun outfits, lip sync to your favorite songs, and throw shade at people. Like,
Mhm.
what a fun job!
And take money from people's hands.
Oh, to be a drag queen, we're just gonna harness our inner drag queen while we're drinking gay today. And then there's another cool thing on the bottle. We have a new cool thing on the bottle.
Is it the Evokes notes of? No, the Tell Me a Story.
Do the evokes notes of it.
Okay, Evokes notes of strawberry, kiwi, and doing a crocodile rock.
Oh, I like
Okay. I feel that should be the YMCA though.
it. Ooh,
Thoughts for next time.
that's for next time.
And then the Tell Me a Story. What's the most fabulous thing about you?
Oh, what's the most fabulous thing about you, Jason?
Personally, I like to say it's my creativity. Run craft night, so it's creativity. But if you go by what people compliment me on, it is definitely my hair. Hear it every day. Love your hair. Love your hair all day long. It's great.
I love that. I think the one thing people tell me all the time is the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we had to wear the mask all the time, they're just like, oh my gosh, I love your eyes. So I feel like my eyes are fabulous, and my winning attitude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You do have very like tell me a story eyes.
Yes.
And when you're talking, it's okay, I'm listening.
Or they call them bedroom eyes for some reason.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Awesome. All right, well, drink your gay with pride. Say hi to Jason next time you see him. From Seaside signing off until next time. Bye, guys.
Stay gay.